that
Yeah,
stage.
you're not like Carrot Head.
No,
You know,
yeah, Carrot Top. No,
Yeah,
he's got
Carrot
all the
Top,
props.
right.
I have nobody to play off of as if I'm doing a scene in
Mm-hmm.
a film or a television series. It's just me standing on that stage with my soul ripped open and saying, "Here I am. This is just me." You know.
But the exhilaration of that, I think, is what brings comedians back over and over again. The exhilaration of hitting the mark, of pegging the audience, of landing that hit, landing that line, right?
Yes, yeah. That is something that really keeps me coming back because that is just a feeling that you just love when you know you hit it and you know that you made that audience laugh and they're really digging what you're doing. You want to get on that stage.
Yeah,
again.
and then you come off stage, right? And the booking manager, or the manager of the club, or the owner of the club, like the comedy store, whatchamacallit, Polly,
Yeah,
Polly owns
Polly's
it now. His
yeah.
mother owned it for years, and
Mitzi,
he actually made it. But when you come off stage and some of your buddies that you like, and they go, "All right, man, great job!" Boom, boom, you high five. It's just like a football game when you come off and you score a touchdown, right? And then there's that guy. There's that guy that's looking at you just seething because, the manager comes up and says, just loud enough, you know something, you're going to headline tomorrow, right? And that guy was supposed to headline, and he's just seething, right?
Yes.
That's where the kung fu comes into
Yeah,
play.
well, I don't worry about the seethers.
That's fun.
But it can tick some people off.
Yeah.
And it's just like anything else, there's always going to be the jealous ones out there.
Right.
But there are always the really good, solid, one individuals that say, hey, good for you.
And there's also the Carlos Mencia guys who steal everybody's stuff.
That's true, too.
Oh, yes, he said, Carlos, I'll meet you anywhere, baby. That's right. I loved your show on TV, Carlos. I really did. I thought it was cutting edge until I found out it was everybody else's material, Oh, okay. Yeah, he and Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan always calls him out.
Yeah, Joe Rogan is at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, he's there a lot. And it's interesting how comedians how their career evolves because there is something that Hollywood and directors and people in the business, they love to have comedians on their set, not because they're funny, but because they hit their marks, their timing is impeccable, they know how to deliver a line, all those things you learn in the bed of fire up there. And I think that's why Hollywood and the entertainment business likes a lot of comedians in different films. You see people working all the time. Do you feel that way about something like that? How's that happen for you?
Well, I think comedy is a really good tool in the tool chest. It's certainly opened doors for me as far as auditions, from movies to television commercials.
Right.
We're looking for somebody. My agent will say they're looking for somebody who's really, really funny, and send them out. I have a client does stand up. Bang, you're in there for the
they're
audition.
expecting that when you come in, the stand up, and so you can throw a little bit of the routine in there as you get going. Absolutely. So comedy's real good. Now, do you combine that with your guitar playing, or is that something separate for you?
It's completely separate. First of all, I have comedian friends that take their acoustic guitar up on stage and do an act with the guitar. I'm not like that. I've been a guitarist for 35 years.
Right.
And
No way, man. You're only 26.
Oh,
How could
that's
that be?
right. And you know what? My math's off.
Oh.
I have to pull out my calculator.
Unless you're a medical miracle and you were playing guitar in your mother's womb, then we're going on stage to make $1 billion.
Yeah,
I'm going to sell this act. No.
But so I played guitar for a long time, but I like Southern rock and roll. I like blues, and I just like a lot of different. I even like some heavy metal, and that to do comedy and those types of music, I don't know, it would go over too well.
Yeah, that's true. There was a guy, and I can't remember who he was, but I see an image of him. He used to go up there, and he would play different forms of music genres, and he had a comedy routine for each genre, and he would transition from like a country redneck hick out of Nashville, Tennessee, or like a Cajun, right? And then all of a sudden he'd go into an R&B song and do a comedy bit about that, and then go into a heavy metal song, and go into a classical, flamenco type song, Spanish guitar. He would do that kind of routine. He didn't last too long, but I thought he was really funny, and music and comedy sort of are very similar because they have the concept of timing.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. They are very similar, and individuals that are comedians and they combine their music. They're just so cut from a different cloth than your average stand-up guy. Who, I mean, you got the guys that do the audience participation where they're ragging the audience. I don't usually do that.
You're
I
not
just,
the Don Rickles.
No,
Rest
God
his soul.
rest his soul.
Yeah.
Rest his soul.
Love him.
Poor Don, but well, he's
90 years
90
old.
years old.
Hey, if I'm so blessed to live to be 90, thank you, Don. Look out. Talk to the guy upstairs for me, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
Sure.
now, when you make that transition and you play guitar, I know you play on stage as well, the guitar, right?
Not anymore.
No, you used to,
I
though.
used to. I
Right.
used to be in several different bands over
Right.
the years, but it just got too difficult. Being an actor, doing everything that takes, and then you're trying to go out and play your gigs at night.
Yeah.
It's just you have to pick which direction you want to go to actually make a living.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the acting and the comedy that kind of marries together.
Yeah,
real
it
well.
does. But
music
is a different
whole
thing. Right
different animal to deal with.
So,
in that respect, well, that's kind of cool, man. But did this kind of talent in you? Was this always something that was in your body when you were a teenager, when you're a little younger, or did you come to this in some way that said, besides, I just want to try this, but it might be good for my career, but I think I'm actually funny. Were you like the funny guy in school and the funny guy in your life? Or were you more a serious guy?
Well, a lot of people say, my God, I didn't realize you were stand-up. I thought you were always so serious.
Right.
But no, I have that funny bone in me. And plus, I come from a family of performers.
Oh, you do? I
Yeah,
didn't
my
know that.
father was a musician, also a theater actor. My brother is a very talented guitarist and singer. Also, he does theater shows. They're all living in Ohio.
Right, right.
I rode my motorcycle out here to
Right on,
get
man.
into the bigger gigs.
Ohio's
but,
cool, but it's not Hollywood.
no,
Or
it's a
New
nice
York.
place to be from.
Yes,
But,
yes.
if you want to pursue a career in entertainment,
Especially in the wintertime. It's nice
oh
to get
my.
away from.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And is it humid in Ohio, like Chicago, where I was born? Is it really?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's humid there too.
Yeah, so
right?
summertime, it can approach 90% humidity in some instances.
It's not a homeless guy carrying a suitcase in Chicago. It's a guy going to work because he got 17 shirts
That's
in the
right.
suitcase, right? He gets sweating so much. I mean,
Same type of weather.
yeah, same type of time. So when you came out here on the bike and you got here, what a eye opener this must have been for you.
Oh.
I mean, coming into LA that starts basically in Palm Springs. LA kind of suburbia starts 100 miles away in any direction. Even the fish out in the middle of the ocean think they're movie stars.
Yeah.
I mean, they're sitting on the, it's unbelievable. But coming into LA, that must have been a mind blower.
It's a complete culture shock because, mind you, I grew up in this little village. There was only 1,000 people. And it was, I mean, it was so different. I did get introduced to Hollywood back there because they filmed the movie Brubaker 20 miles
Yeah, I
from my
saw
home.
that, and Joe and I were talking about that. The Brubaker, that was a great movie. Robert Redford.
Yes, I was in that for 4.5 months as a background actor, prisoner. It was my first experience to Hollywood, and that's what really set the wheel in
So
motion.
you got the bug.
Yes,
You got bit, huh?
Yeah, I got bit
man.
hard.
You got bit hard. Ladies, he got bit hard.
real hard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, when you get that bite, let me tell you, there ain't nothing. There's nothing in the world that can. You can't get a shot to take that bite out of you.
No, you cannot. I got bit so hard. I had got $600 together, loaded up my motorcycle with my backpack, tent, sleeping bag, strapped my guitar to the side, and on one September morning said, "See ya."
So you're like Forrest Gump on a motorcycle, right?
Well,
I can see it now, going through the Wyoming highlands and then coming down into the Nevada and Arizona deserts. I believe we got to call. Is that Jeff Langton? Yeah. Oh, bring him on up. Guess who's calling? Can he hear this without headphones? Might have to yeah. Hold on, Jeff. We got to.
Okay.
See what's going to happen is where are they at? Okay, he's going to plug us in. Thank you, Lee. You didn't know that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, "This is your life."
Remember that show?
Oh, I do. I do. I really remember that show. And I just kind of gave my age away. I do remember that show. That's the bummer about it. Okay, so he can hear? Okay, cool. Jeff Langton's on the line, 424-227-9461. Now, this is your life. Mark Hoadley, Jeff Langton.
Hey, Jeff,
What's
how
up,
are
Steve?
you?
What's up, Seafood Mark?
Oh, I'm
The
just
praying
hanging here,
mantis,
just
man.
in a friendly atmosphere, doing a show. It's good to hear from you again. I haven't seen you since we were at the Hall of Fame up there in, I believe, San Jose, huh?
That's right. That's right. I got inducted into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame, and you were sitting at the table, and we talked about your guitar playing and your stand-up. And I told Jesse T, I said, hey, out of Hollywood, I've only met like maybe 2 people. I said, Mark is one of the nicest people you will ever meet, and I wish you all the best of luck, my brother.
Oh,
Always.
thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. And feelings are mutual.
You're very honorable and stand up and a guy with integrity as far as I'm concerned. And, you're a very good martial artist, a musician, and a stand-up comedian. And I told Jesse T all about you. And he said, hey, why don't you call in? I said, absolutely. I said, we got to jam sometime, brother.
Now, those of you who don't know who Jeff Langton is, Jeff Langton came to town about the time you came to town, maybe a little bit earlier than you. But he also has an interesting story. Great actor, 35, 40, 50 films. I lost count. He's my brother by love and not my brother by blood because I don't have any blood brothers.
Got it.
And just a great actor and a great martial artist.
Yes.
A terrific boxer. He's been in the corner of many world champions. How many, Jeff?
I've done about 40 world title fights.
So, and great
as a cornerman.
as a cut man and training.
Uh-huh.
He had his own gym boxing gym for about 10, 12 years
Sure.
in Burbank. And the guy is just unbelievable. Great guitarist.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's also a guitarist.
Yeah, rock blues, kind of
Yeah.
Mississippi rock blues.
I'd love to jam with you sometime, Jeff.
The Joltin' J,
Well-
baby.
We'll do it. But I want to tell one thing about Jesse. I said, hey, Jesse, when he told me that you're going to be on the show, I said, hey, Mark is a very good praying mantis style. And, we had some mutual friends. I mean, Pauline, before he passing, I went over and studied a little praying mantis, but I'm not anywhere near what your ability is, but very good system that you partake upon.
Yeah, thank you. I really enjoy it, Jeff. Of course, time mantis. There's several different styles of the praying mantis system.
right.
So you have the 7-star and time mantis. I'm a time mantis guy, and Northern Shaolin Kung Fu, and
Right.
so it's just a very really awesome bust out system.
Right.
It's so. It's just so fast, rapid fire,
Right,
and of course then you get to Shaolin, the bigger
Right.
movements.
Yeah, the bigger round movements.
Yeah.
circular
And I think
movements.
the combination of both of them is it's really great.
I've studied with Sifu Gary Lam, Wing Chun, for about 25 years.
Oh yeah.
And did some boxing and wrestling for about 8 or 9 years. So yeah, I've played around. We've had some fun play with praying mantis style people and Bagua and Charlie Foot,
Charlie
and
Foot,
and
yeah.
all that stuff. But explosive styles are really wonderful
Yeah.
because they end real fast,
You know what's interesting?
and then I can run away really fast. Yes.
I was at a film festival and the director said, I want to see a little bit of this mantis. Can you just show? And I just, I was in a suit and everything. And I just went rapid fire. He goes, do you have a director that can actually film that? It was so fast.
It's like what they told Bruce Lee on the Green Hornet. Gene LaBelle said, you've got to slow down for the stuntmen because they can't react like they have to react to the punch. You're just too fast.
Yes.
And so on Green Hornet, he was limited to about 5 or 6 moves that he used all the time because the stuntmen could not react and they could time that. So absolutely right. Where are you at, Jeff?
I'm just listening. I just listening about Mark's history and just listening about his praying mantis. I'm very fascinated with the praying mantis system, and he's a master Sifu in that, and people should know a little bit about that in his stand-up comedy. I just want to intervene on one thing is that, Don Rickles, I like to know Mark's perspectives on Don Rickles. I saw Don Rickles on a YouTube video that he destroyed Jay Leno. The man, could Mark elaborate a little bit for the audience about Don Rickles and what the gift and the timing was? I'd like to learn a little bit about that, if you could.
Yeah, Don Rickles was an interesting guy. He got his start in the '60s doing the type of comedy that he ended up doing his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, he tried a lot of different types of comedy and a lot of different types of things. And when he started doing that comedy, one of the first people that he insulted was Frank Sinatra.
Exactly.
One of the very first people that he insulted with his comedic flair was Old Blue Eyes, and it busted Frank up. And he thought, well, if I could make Frank Sinatra laugh, and I wouldn't end up with Gibatsu out in the backyard, right? Or what do you say, Bombatsu and Bibitsi? Yeah, they give you your love, and don't worry about it. They took care of it, all right?
I saw several clips, and Jeff, Don Rickles was just a class of his own, and that's what he did. He went in for the kill on these guys, the biggest names. It was just amazing. Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr.,
President Reagan.
Yes, President Reagan.
I mean, he just killed them, and he would kill you too if you showed up.
Oh my God!
I saw him on one of his last interviews, and this young reporter, I think it was for either was for TMZ or it was for one of the Variety or AMC. Or something like that. This young reporter was interviewing him, and he was just giving this young reporter the hardest time, Don Rickles style. I mean, just laying into him. And I said, yeah.
I would love to see that.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, he was certainly a one of a kind, Jeff. And his comedy was a little different than mine because he went out and he went on attack mode but it was accepted. Yeah. He was accepted, and me, I don't necessarily pick people out of the audience to tear apart. Right. I did a show at the Comedy Store Sunday night where I was supposed to open for Margaret Cho, but she ended up, I had to follow her actually, and she sizzled. But I did that show. I did pull some people out of the audience and kind of utilize them, for a couple jokes.
That can be intimidating when you follow somebody like Margaret.
Oh my God! It was intimidating.
I mean, what do you do? How do you follow that? Or how do you do you proceed it? I mean, really.
Here's what I did. I walked up to the mic, and I looked at the audience, and I said, "Thanks for coming, everyone. Give it up for Margaret Cho." They give this big applause. I said, "Okay, that's my time. That's my set. Thank you." And I started walking off.
Stage right.
And that's it. That got a big laugh, So, okay, there's my first laugh. So then I went back and said, "No, you're not getting off that easy."
Right. That's cool. Hey, Jeff, thanks a lot for calling, man. I appreciate it. And the best luck to you.
Oh, no problem. Hey, Mark, all the best in your life. And God bless you, man. Much love, Have nothing but respect for man. And, I wish you all the best, man. Good luck to you. Okay?
Thank you, Jeff.
And have fun with Jesse T, man. You'll get it all out of you, bro.
Thanks so much, brother.
Is on duty. Okay, take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.
All right.
That's the Joltin' Jay, everybody. And I'm getting a lot of distortion in here. I don't know why that is. It's just a phone? Oh, okay. So, yeah, Joltin' Jay, check him out. Great rock blues guitarist. You can go to his IMDb site, check out all his stuff. He's got a new movie he's starting to put together called Dimmock. And so, you might just be in it. So let's talk about your movie career a little bit because it's pretty cool, man. You've done a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff. And
20 different projects you've been on?
Yeah, I'm about 16, 17, maybe 18. But I've done a lot of TV. But, my agent sends me out on a lot of television commercials. Because that's where the agency makes the money.
Well, you got that television face. You got that kind of American... boyish kind of face.
I've heard that, but if I grow the scruff out, and change the eyes, I could change it up accordingly.
All right, let's give the mean look on 3. Here's the mean look. 1, 2, 3. Who's meaner?
Let me see your mean look. Are you sad?
Yes, I'm sad. That's right. You see, I give the mean look to the ladies, and they think I'm sad.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you see, there's a chemistry here.
You got
going
that
on.
down.
I'm teaching you, man. Don't worry about it.
I'm learning.
Hey, you're younger than me, so you know.
Oh, geez.
So the movies that you do you do a lot of your martial arts in the movies? That seems to be a big call today with folks, and I've seen some of the stuff that you've done. Do you think that the martial arts is really benefited you in doing auditions, or has that hindered you and kind of focused you into an area, typecast?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not one that's typecast into the martial arts films.
That's good.
Because I'm versatile.
Right.
You know, I can do a comedy film. I could do a drama, and you know, I can do the action martial arts film. So, but I'm not typecast per se.
Right.
But I certainly, you know, would never turn down a good action film that has martial arts in it. You know, I would never turn those down.
Are you into stunts? Do you do a lot of
Yeah,
stunts?
I'm a stunt man. I do stunt coordinating. I was stunt coordinator on several different films. Yeah. And I do a lot of stunts. I don't do falls out of windows and everything.
Right.
Most of my stunts is fight coordinating or fight, you know, just stunt work, doing martial arts fights, boxing, whatever you get into. But
a good buddy of mine,
some falls.
He
here and
played
there, but-
35 years as a stuntman, falling out of 5-6 stories, doing that everything, crashing cars, tumbling cars. I mean, falling off of horses at gallop, just all that stuff. And you pay the price for that kind of.
You
work
do. You really
later
do.
on in your life.
And I don't want to get typecast as exclusively as a stuntman.
Right.
You know, because I'm not
No.
exclusively.
No, you got a lot of dimension to you. The martial arts, was that something you started learning at a young age?
I started in my 20s.
Yeah, I started the martial arts in my mid-teens. I didn't mid to late teens. I boxed when I was a kid and wrestled, but the martial arts came to me later. I think there sometimes needs to be a little maturity in a person to grasp some of those things.
I agree to a certain extent. I mean, the reason it took me longer to learn is because I grew up in this village in Ohio.
Yeah.
Now, I always wanted to learn Kung Fu, and I knew I wanted to learn Kung Fu.
So you were watching David Carradine.
I was
too.
watching Bruce Lee and David Carradine, but there was no martial arts schools anywhere where I grew up. I mean,
Really?
nowhere in
No
Ohio.
karate schools?
No,
or anything?
nothing. I mean, 35 miles out of YMCA, there was a judo class. And
Yeah.
I started that at 12 and,
Sure.
you know, lasted a couple years in that. But then it wasn't where I wanted to go.
Right.
And once I got to California and got my first
Oh,
place
my
out
goodness.
here, right down the end of my street was a Time Mantis Kung Fu
And
school.
so that's how you came to Thai Mantis.
yeah, that's
Because it was close to you.
yeah, my grandmaster, Dr. Cam Ewan, you know, he brought it over from Hong Kong, Time Mantis, and then my Sifu Scott Cohen, and it was just something so different.
Yeah.
And it was like, I need to learn this. And
And it's so good for you because there's a whole mental and emotional and psychological aspect to it and a healing aspect. And if you really get involved in that aspect of it, there's herbs and all that stuff. There's so much dimension to that makes a person completely different and a lot of deeper in a lot of ways.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Besides being able to kick your ass.
well, that's about that much.
It's
of
about
it.
that much of it, right?
It's so much more to it. There's so many different layers.
Yeah, I just want to kick somebody's butt just enough so I can seriously run away.
to
Run real fast. The problem is I would get a guy who probably runs a 26-mile marathon and I can run 26 feet.
wouldn't that be a bummer?
Oh, that would be a total bummer. I mean, I see these guys running away from the cops and I say, man, I hope he's got 26 miles under his belt because every 4 or 5 feet, man, there's going to be a new cop coming out of a bush somewhere.
That's the truth.
They get you like that. But, seriously, I mean, the creed of martial arts is quite different, to help and to be a participant in somebody's betterment
Exactly.
rather than the fighting is just a small portion of the art form.
Right. Yeah. It's like I said, it's layered. It's so much deeper than just learning how to kick butt.
And you're still teaching, right?
Yeah, I do. I do privates though.
How do they get in touch with you to learn some private kung fu? Do you have a place,
Well,
a Facebook site maybe? A
Yeah,
Facebook
they
page?
can hit me on Facebook, Mark Hoadley, and then they can hit me on Twitter, Mark of the Cobra, Mark Hoadley, and then Beach Mantis on Instagram. And hit me on any of those, and I'll
Look at man,
respond to you.
the guy's so humble, but he's got like 93 sites, you know.
I have the same sites everyone else does. You know, what do we
So
do?
where do you go from here with all these great talents? Where do you see yourself going in the next couple of years? Do you see yourself kind of gravitating to more of the comedy or more of the acting, or obviously you've had a long career with the martial arts,
Yes.
or can you combine all of those things into something?
Well, of course you can combine the martial arts and acting. That's a given.
Everybody does
And
that now.
yes, the comedy, you probably use a little bit of the martial arts in comedy too. And then there's some funny things that lie in there that you could
Well,
utilize.
Jackie Chan he brought that kind of comedic flair.
He
The
did.
first guy that did that.
Right.
Right. And I think that Strahan has probably replaced Jackie Chan as the acrobatic kind of martial arts guy in the movie.
Yeah.
Because he does all the flips over bars and the canisters and all that. That's what Jackie Chan originally did.
Yes, indeed.
In that respect. You know, I wish you had brought your guitar. I'd have made you play some guitar music.
Oh, too bad. I didn't even know I was going to mention it.
Yeah, well, you know, when you're around me, Jesse T, you never know what I'm going to talk about.
You got it, Jesse.
I mean, I'll lead you down a path and then throw a twist at you in that respect. But you know, Mark and I, we see each other around Hollywood and around different events and things. And one of the interesting things that you always seem to have projected out there is that, like Jeff Langton said, you're a good guy. You're one of those good guys. You know, you're a nice guy, and you've got a lot of that great quality. Do you find that in Hollywood, that especially this crazy entertainment business? I mean, I'm third generation, so do you find it that it's tough to be that way and keep that inner civility in yourself, that inner calmness, that inner peace, that inner honor?
No, I don't find it difficult for me, because how I am and how other individuals are, however they are,
Right,
it would
right.
never change how I am.
Right.
You know, I'm a person that, I appreciate people, and I'm not an arrogant guy. I'm not, hey, I know this, I'm better than you, or have that attitude, or I'm not one of these individuals that don't want to see other individuals succeed. And that is, in Hollywood, there's so much of that.
Yeah, there really is. One of the guys that comes to mind, of course, you won't mention it, but I will, Steven Seagal. I mean, my Sihing study with Steven Seagal. He was one of his last live-in dojo students. And some of the stories that I've heard in real life, that was real rough with his students and real aggressive in that respect. I think that because of the technology today, there's so much more ability for someone of talent to do things and to explore, that it's not as dog eat dog. Because when all you had was the networks and a few film directors and the big studios, you didn't have a lot of independent production 25 years ago.
That's correct.
And you didn't have the internet, of course. You didn't have web series. You didn't have any of this stuff. So people really, wanted to get that gig, and they would do anything.
Very
for
much
it,
so.
right? Anything for it. And it seems to be that there's so much talent now, and there's such an avenue of exploration and the technology that it's actually wonderful, isn't it?
It is. And there's no shortage now. I mean, like you said, it used to be just, a few places and everybody auditioned for the same thing and everybody was trying to get that gig and one up at the other. There's a lot of room out there for everyone right now. And, of course, there are people who land roles where I say, oh, I wish I had that role.
Well,
but,
yeah.
And this is how we see something that's good.
Yeah, well, like Don Rickles would say, Gumbatsi, we want to talk to Gumbatsi, we'll take care of that for you, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, you're thinking, he was talking to Frank, said, yeah, I went up to one of your friends, I said something, he goes, oh, it's like, there goes the knife.
Yes. I like this story that Frank Sinatra used to tell. and was that when Don was first starting out, he walked up to Frank Sinatra and he said, "Look at I'm with this girl." Right? That story, I'm with this girl and I want to impress her. I'm not like you. I'm not beautiful and handsome. And, she's like, he goes, yeah, okay, no problem. So Frank Sinatra then at the end of he has his espresso, right? He has his little drink at the end and he gets up out of the table and he walks over to Don and he walks past Don and he says, "Hey, Don, good to see you." And Don Rickles says, "Hey, Frank, don't you see I'm busy with a girl here? What's wrong with you? God."
Who else would get away with that?
Only Don Rickles could get away with that.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
my God.
classic.
It
But
is.
that's the comedic mind.
Yes.
See, that's the difference in the way other people look at things and react and do things. The comedic mind is, in a lot of ways, so out of the box.
That's right. But to be a good comedian, hell, you have to be out of the box.
Yeah.
You can't just fall in here because you're not expanding your horizons and you're not giving to the fullest extent that you could give with all your creativity. Mm-hmm. You're just following this little square box, and that's just not how I go.
It's hard. It's hard to be relevant for a long period of time when you start looking at some of these icons of the business. Anything in business or education or health or the entertainment business or technology, or it doesn't matter. It's hard to sustain that kind of stardom, for lack of any other word, that success level for ages. Oftentimes people have to go through a total reinvention of themselves. Have you had to experience any reinvention? And if you have, were you afraid about saying, "Oh my, what am I doing now?"
Well, my stand-up is reinventing because I've only been doing it a couple years.
Right.
And that's what I felt I needed. I needed to reinvent. And so it was like, okay, I've always loved stand-up, so let's see what I can do with this. Right there.
Yeah. So that for you, it's a reinvention.
Yeah.
It's kind of exhilarating then.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait till I come to your show. You can practice your heckling on me. Get out of here. That handsome country boy. What does he know? Yeah, no, he's got too good of a smile.
No, I
go
love a
do
good
the
heckler.
commercials, will ya? Get out of here. Bartender, give me another 7-Up.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, I haven't been heckled yet.
Oh, Lee. Uh-oh. He opened the door. Everybody on Facebook and Instagram, Periscope, and live stream, where are you performing next?
I'll probably perform at the Comedy Store.
We got to go heckle
next.
him.
But
Okay.
here's the thing.
We're going to bring a heckle bus.
I certainly have bombed. And I think they just felt so bad for me that they didn't heckle me. They just rolled with it.
Outside, you had a little sign that said, "Please, I got to pay for my rent."
Tell you a little funny story about the first time that I played the big stage at the Comedy Store. Okay, they had the MC there, and he was pretty tanked. He was, drinking throughout the night. So you could sit right along the stage of the audience, and they have a curtain there. You could peek around and watch the audience, watch the comedians. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. And so the MC comes up and says, "Okay, well, you're up next. Get behind the stage." So I go behind the stage, and there was this one girl there. And I said, "Where's the entrance to the stage?" It was one door. She points at it and leaves. Okay, so they said, "Okay, welcome Mark Hadley." He got my last name wrong, but no big deal.
Hoadley.
So I opened that door, and it's a daggone little electrical closet. It was like, oh, my God. And then now they have this big, long black curtain. So the MC says, "Let's welcome Mark Hadley. I know he's in the house somewhere." So now I'm running my hand down this long curtain to see if there's some kind of a slice in the middle where I can get out on the stage.
Right.
So I get, and finally it was like, oh, thank God. So I get out on the stage, and I was so panicked by that time because my heart racing and everything.
Sure.
It went all the way through my set, and it was just not the best set. And then after I was through, the MC says, "Okay, give it up for Joe Daniels."
Joe Joe Daniels.
So
Well,
Mark
that's
Hadley,
good.
Joe
If there were
Daniels.
anybody there that was reviewing, they're going to write a little article. Joe Daniels really sucked
Yeah,
last night.
right.
Right. So you're free, man.
Yeah, I
you're
got all that.
free.
There you
Oh
go.
yes, I like that. Yes, man.
So
Fate
that
was,
was
on your side
crazy,
that
though.
night.
Oh my God.
Absolutely, man. I did a routine. I was working in Santa Barbara at this radio station, KIST, and so I was there's a little comedy club on State Street there, and so we did an early show, and I was just in the middle of the pack, and for whatever reasons I had a good set, so the owner of the club put me as the headline. They didn't have any real big headliner coming into town, so they took the best out of the early set and made them the headliner at the nighttime set.
Wow.
And so I said, okay. So I did the nighttime set, and I walk out on stage, and the first thing I do when I walk out on stage, I trip. Swear to God, I trip and fall straight on my face on stage. So now the audience thinks it's part of the show, right? It thinks I'm a
Yeah.
slapstick, right?
Right.
I'm going to slapstick. So what I did is I stayed on. I said, oh, geez, what am I going to do now? So I just laid on the stage and I did my routine.
You're kidding. Like,
I just laid on the stage with the microphone, dragged the microphone down, and just did my routine laying on the stage.
well, that's creative.
Yeah, I just
I would
went
love
with
to
it.
see that. See, I never would have thought of
I
that.
just stayed on it. Why get up, man? They're laughing at me already. So,
Oh,
so they were
geez.
laughing at things. The interesting thing, they weren't laughing at everything I thought was funny. They were laughing at everything that I thought was really not funny.
Yeah.
Just the opposite. So, it made me forget some of the lines too, because
I've
I
done
was
it.
shocked. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. Well, I thought next thing I should do is just drop my drawers. Of course, then I would have scared everybody and they would have ran out and I could see the headlines, right?
Yeah.
Radio disc jockey from Santa Barbara doing a nighttime comedy routine at the comedy club on State Street drops his drawers. and we aren't going to arrest him because there wasn't much to arrest.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Yeah,
You should get back into stand
No,
up.
not for me, man. I do enough comedy here.
Yeah.
I'm no. That's for you guys now. But yeah, I think it's a good adventure, and it really explores a lot of things. Where can we see you at, and where can the audience catch you now?
Well, week to week, I never know where I'm going to be booked. It comes up, the
Do
bookings
you
in
post
comedy.
it on any of your
Yeah,
social networks?
all over Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Like I just did a show last week. I know that I have another one coming up within a couple weeks. The date's not set in stone yet. And then after that, I'll be playing the Comedy Store again. So I like the Comedy Store.
Come on, it's the
It's
best.
the energy you walk in and all the
All the
talent,
pictures
from
and
Sam Kinison to
everybody.
Robin
You
Williams
walk
to
down the
Jerry
hall.
Seinfeld. I mean, they've all their energy is in that
Yeah,
place,
it's all there.
and
man.
it's an awesome place to play.
Yeah, it really is. That was one of the L.A. Gangsters club.
It
Before
was,
yeah,
and when in the
before.
40s,
Yeah, in the 30s.
30s.
Yeah, that was Mickey Cohen's club.
I didn't know that.
Mickey Cohen was an Irish Jewish mobster.
Yeah, I know.
And the Body Shop, the strip joint down the street, the Gentleman's Club,
Mhm.
that was Bugsy Siegel's place.
I'll be darned.
Yeah. And the reason why Bugsy Siegel put it right there, because he didn't like Mickey Cohen, and Mickey Cohen didn't like Bugsy Siegel, so they constantly he wanted to be by him just to give him a hard time.
Oh my
But
God!
the Body Shop down there, that was
So it's like
yeah. Back
close proximity.
back in the 30s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that building has major history in it, and the building right next to it, Rod Stewart owned.
I didn't know that
Big
either.
Three-story
Yeah,
building.
right.
He used to live in there
Really?
in the late 70s and early 80s.
I'll be darned.
When he busted out Hot Legs in the mid 80s, and after he was Rod Stewart with the group, and then he busted out all the disco stuff. He lived right in there. He bought that building, and that was his house up on top.
My golly.
Yeah, and
Always learn something new.
just down
about
the
that
street,
area.
Casablanca Records was there. That's Donna Summer and Neil Bogart. And,
Right.
we just call him Neil Bogart and all the coke. I mean,
Neil Bogart and all the coke.
Yeah, you'd walk in there. I heard stories from a
Oh,
guy
gosh.
who worked there, who was a little older than me, my mentor in the record business. He said that was one of his first gigs, and he said I'd walk into the office and the whole tabletop would be just white. I mean, the late 1970s,
'70s
disco
and
era.
early '80s. Yeah, yeah.
So you're right there in the thick of it. So yeah, you're right. You do feel that energy,
Yes. Yeah.
and that's part of training too in martial arts because it's the chi, the chi that comes from the mid and that energy. So you're more attuned to feeling that. I think.
Absolutely. Chi generated an inch and a half below the belly button, Tantien. That's where we're all centered, and it is a
That's where it all comes from.
Yeah.
That's where life comes from.
absolutely
And that's
Chi,
where
the
you
breath
can,
of life.
You can heal yourself from that if you know qigong and things like
Yes,
that.
I studied Qigong for many,
Yeah,
many years.
I did too.
I was promoted to Sifu in 2002.
Hey man, congratulations!
Thank
That's
you.
great. I'm not a Sifu, but I went through the whole system, and in Wing Chun we don't have any belts or anything like that. We don't really have a lot of that kind of. Gary Lam was Wang Shan Leong's lead student for 20 years. Wang Shan Leong was Ip Man's, the Talking Hands. He was the guy that fought all of the challenge fights and the Bamo fights up on top of the Hong Kong rooftops.
Wow.
Wang Shan Leong
Yeah.
for Ip Man. And then Gary studied, and I studied with Gary when he first came here after England gave up Hong Kong. They came here in the late 90s, and that's when I really got involved with the Wing Chun. I just loved Wing Chun, and I loved Gary. He's a big Chinese guy, big, thick, tall Chinese guy, and that kind of fit my physicalness too. His style fit
Right.
my physicalness.
See, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
The system or style that you're learning be applicable to you and
Right.
your physical being.
Yeah, I was never going to jump and hit somebody with a high kick. I'd just take your knees out.
Yeah.
Break, go to the ankles and
Hey,
stuff
but
like that.
if you don't have a knee in place, you can't walk, right?
That's right. No, once a limb goes down, it's over with.
Yeah.
And but he was a big man, and he still is a big man, tall and he studied Muay Thai boxing. So I came out of boxing too. So the boxing was, and you're right, getting with somebody that matches you. But that's like all of life, isn't it?
It is. Yes. Every aspect.
Yeah. I mean, finding a good woman is like you got to find.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Then you got to find many good women. Oh God, I just got myself in trouble, didn't I?
Yeah. I'm gonna stay away from that topic.
It's okay.
I'm divorced now.
I'll
but-
cover it. Don't worry. I'm a dead man walking. You can smell it. Dead man walking.
Smell it in the air.
Oh Lord, help us. So you're going to be at the Comedy Store sporadically. You never know when you're going to come up. Are you doing any films? Or are you doing any commercials? With
Yeah,
your scene right now?
I have a film lined up. I can't talk about it yet, but it's coming right up.
Okay,
And,
see what we can get out of them. guys.
yeah, it's like mum's the word on this one. It's strictly laid out to me. And then I have a couple other projects, but I never know when I'm going to book a commercial. I was out on a commercial audition today.
Right.
So who knows? They could call me tomorrow and go in and handle it and move on to the next gig.
A lot of people are doing the interviews in a different way now, aren't they? They're using the technology to send in their read.
Yeah, I do a lot of self-filming commercials. Though my agent will call me and say, "Look, just put it on tape. Here's the casting director's email. Send it right out to the casting director."
Yeah, that's the way it is now.
And it's easy because I don't have to schlep 30 miles to Hollywood. you
Yeah,
know?
30 miles in Hollywood
Each
would
way.
take you 14 days and 6 hours.
I'm in Southward down the beach. That's a long way.
Forget it. Forget it. That's a forget about it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But I'm so devoted to the craft. I show up.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, but I show up late all the time.
Yeah, well, I
I'm
was a little
always
late today.
Yes. No, you were on time. I was
No,
on,
I mean for my audition.
you were on time here, and I was
Here,
on
yeah.
time here. Somebody was late. I don't know who could have possibly have been.
I don't know.
Somebody was who
I'm not a
was
finger
late?
pointer anyway.
Spectrum.
Oh, Spectrum was late. You learned well, my son. Blame the other guy. There's a concept. One of my acting teachers taught me. The only acting teacher I ever had was Guy Stockwell. He said, "Look at there's three things you do if things are failing bad, right? The first thing you say when your boss or someone comes up to you and something went wrong, and you say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And if that doesn't work, then you say, well, you know, it wasn't my job. It's not my job, right? It's not in the job description. Besides, I don't know. And if that doesn't work, you blame the other guy.
That's why they say it's always nice to work with someone. It allows you to put the blame on them.
That's true.
That is true.
All right, the Jesse T Show, having fun with Mark Hoadley. Everybody, give your Facebook page out. Come on now.
Okay, you can see me on Facebook at Mark Hoadley, and you could check me out on Twitter, and that would be Mark of the Cobra, Mark Hoadley. You could catch me on Instagram at Beach Mantis, Mark Hoadley.
And look for him at the Comedy Store. Check out his Facebook page because he posts stuff up there. Funny guy, great musician, terrific actor, and a terrific martial artist. Been honored in many martial arts Hall of Fames. And it's nice when you get that kind of proclamation from your peer group. And Jeff Lankin called up, and he's very proud of you. So that says something. Very much so. Hey, thanks all for joining us on the Jesse T Show every Monday through Friday right here from 5 to 6 at thepowerofvoices.com and aventertainmentlive.com. That's right. And facebook.com/Jesse Torero. We archive now immediately on YouTube and Facebook, as well as on the two websites I mentioned, Livestream and Periscope. That's posting up right now as we speak. Instagram, you go away because they don't archive yet anymore. Or they haven't done that yet. We're going to figure that out and make that work for you. So, hey, you're in the world according to Torero. You are straight on the point. And we're going to go out in the back and we're going to talk a little bit of Kung Fu, baby. The Brown Beauty's off duty. See ya. Bam.